What's up guys, this is Astranox. In this video I'm climbing in World Arena on my first account. Speed cleave, speed, single target burst. It's definitely rough guys. There's a lot of counters out there. It's been a long time since I've done this and it feels good to do it again. And yeah, it's time to climb, man. I'm pushing all the way to Challenger and I'll have other videos later on in Champion. And you know, we're gonna have some pretty crazy battles and there's some really interesting fights that did happen in this one. So I'm going all the way from placement to Challenger. I fought, you know, I got clips for 2 players in Champion. There's, you know, player in goal, placement, maybe Master Challenger. I don't remember. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fights. I'm using different team compositions. You know, I got speed heroes. I got a lot of damage, and I'm definitely like just throwing a bunch of damage at them. Trying to control them, mess them up, and see what happens, right? So for this particular battle right here, I'm using F.O.O.L and Cecilia for some bulk. You know, the Aureus is cool, the constant bears, the skill nullifier, if you time it right, it can definitely be very invaluable. She in the combo is going last, so before the enemy team goes, you're able to, you know, put that skill nullifier, which is pretty powerful. Now in the rest of my team, I got P.Y.LOT, you know, that can activate Challenger Domino, but I also have Fairy Tail Tenebria that can activate Challenger Domino. I have, you know, 2 Tagil's Ancient Books, so that's pretty cool. Now, Lionheart Cernia is really dangerous if she stays alive and she has the Fighting Spirit to use the skill number 3. And you can see here, the damage, it could have been high. That's the thing. But the skill nullifier blocked the damage. I don't think she would be able to take out my whole team, but if I didn't have F.O.O.L and Cecilia, watch out, man. She can definitely wipe out a team, because I've shown that, I think, or I've had battles where she dealt insane damage and she was able to pretty much wipe the whole team when it was her time to go, if she's built on the slower side. So that was my first placement in battle. Now I'm in gold, right? The first placement battle, for some reason, like, I was fighting a player that, you know, had a pretty solid team going on. There was Lionheart Cernia. I'm like, let's put it in there, right? So in this particular team here, what do I have? I have, well, P.Y.LOT is just insane AoE with the self-attack buff before dealing damage. If you have 20 souls, soul burn into the skill number 3, ignores damage sharing effect. So it's really good to single out a hero after you soften them up with the skill 2. And you still have the attack buff. You have the exclusive equipment that gives attack buff to the highest attacker beside himself in the team. So, you know, that's cool too. You have another hero with attack buff. I really like that. So in this battle, it's actually PYLOT that has it. I do have Fairy Tail Tenebria, which is just really solid to land the redirected provoke. The amount of control you can pull off with that hero is insane. And she's just one hero, right? And the enemy has to deal with her, right? Like, if you land a bunch of Resurrected Provoke and they don't have any way to cleanse that, then they're wasting their turn by using a bunch of skill 1s. So that's really strong for you. That's really good for you to survive longer. And buying like an extra turn is a big deal when you're trying to throw a bunch of damage at them. Speed cleave, speed single target burst, solid stuff. Now, if a hero or more, you know, they don't have Resurrected Provoke, you might want to work on those heroes first. So you can see the damage of P.Y.LOT. I mean, Ran just got destroyed there. That was just great. And we got my boy, man, the Closer Charles. He goes in there, you know, deletes 1, and he provides the attack buff for the team. He provides some combatiness push so your team can go back to back sort of deal. Now, Apocalypse Ravi is in the meta in full force. She's like really annoying. She's definitely a threat, and so many players are picking Apocalypse Ravi. It is ridiculous. You know, she's usually, I mean, counter penetration set. She could be speed penetration set. She could have an artifact to clear a debuff from herself, like Timeless Anchor. There's various builds, but yeah, if she's tanky, she could survive a lot of damage, especially if they have an Aureus, you know, those layers of protection. And she's gonna bring someone back to life. You gotta watch out for that with skill nullifier. So it is quite dangerous. Very popular. You know, there's Commander Lilius, another super Conqueror Lilius. Sorry, Very, very popular. A lot of players are picking her. Bellion, not that much, but Bellion is really annoying for me because she blocks soul gain, so I will ban her a lot of times. I do that. So yeah, I mean, you can see the damage. Even the Fairy Tale Tenebria, because I have 15 skill ups on her, it helps. She's helping the team, so I really like that. I do like her more on Tagil's Ancient Book compared to her own artifact, even though her own artifact is actually really good, but I feel like it's better in longer battles. So yeah, here I have Challenger Domino, so I'm able to push her with like all three of my heroes. That's the ridiculous thing, right? I got Pavel that can push her, Fairy Tale Tenebria, and Politis. I really like that. So Rimuru is another really popular one in the meta. I mean, he's just all sorts of annoying, that hero, huh? Especially if you bring a hero that like a buff, a team-wide buff, a single target buff that is something he can steal and provide for his whole team. You do have to watch out for that. I mean, Suri is a good example, and I've shown it. I believe in the Rimuru showcase I did. Just stealing the invulnerability from your team and putting it on their team is like such a big winning move right there. And then like stealing just an attack buff is already like real good. Getting, you know, the immunity buff, maybe something like that. And then like Rimuru, he cuts with a CR push, and then he's able to delete someone on your team that maybe didn't go yet. And he deals so much damage, and he's got the fixed damage too that happens after. Yeah, very deadly hero. And you can see this is real close right there, man. Like really close. So yeah, that Bellion, you know, dealing AoE damage constantly is definitely something that is really deadly. And then she's on counter, let's say with Elbrus Ritual Sword. You have to be so careful. I mean, I bring Fairy Tale Tenebria in there. She can trigger all sorts of counters. Rem's another like annoying hero. Like if you have a bunch of AoE attack in your team that can be countered, you do have to watch out for her. So it's definitely rough out there. I mean, Angel of Light, Angelica, they might pick heroes that have a high base speed. You know, they might just outspeed you. That's the thing. Just with Lilias, our own ML Lilias, they can just open with her and, you know, attack break on your team. Like, she can already mess you up. 2-turn provoke, resurrected provoke. It is definitely very rough. So I'm trying to do as best as I can to deal with all sorts of things that are throwing at me. I'm pre-banning Green Violet, guys. Like he's rough to deal with, man, because all of the missed attack that you deal against him, I mean, he just evades, and then he's on life still, right? And he has a nice amount of bulk, like health, it's pretty high. So if you get unlucky and he just, you know, you miss your attacks constantly against him, especially if you have a decreased hit chance debuff on you, I mean, you're just gonna miss all the time. So he could definitely like end up soloing your team. So very, very rough. So you do have to be careful about that. I mean, pre-ban, ban phase. Bellion is a hero that I banned before, and to be honest, like not everyone has her. So I was like, you know what, let's just ban green. Violet, since I'm using Fairy Tale Tenebria so much lately, right? But Summertime Hysteria, if I don't pick her, a lot of times like the enemy just picks her. They go with an AoE hero, like high base speed that reduce buff duration by 1 turn, like Ran, right? It's rough. It's rough because if they get their combo off, you are in big trouble, because she lands those bombs and then she detonates them, and then it's a guaranteed stun and it deals damage. And when she gets triggered with an AoE attack, she pushes the CR, the combat genius of your team, and then your team can sort of like go back to back. Your team might cut, and that is dangerous. So that's another champion player. The one before was in champion as well. And here I went for the speed. Assassin Sid, I'm running Vildred, you know, like boosting with the speed imprint, my Assassin Sid, boosting the speed of my Fairy Tale Tenebria. And I mean, Summertime Sarah, this is like a pretty high speed team right there. It is not a team that you're going to be using a lot. It's just sometimes you need that extra boost in speed, and that speed imprint, no matter who it is, becomes quite invaluable, because if you get the turn 1 especially in a team that push combat units that can go back to back, sort of deal with like Summertime Hysteria, no matter your CR pusher who it is, right? Yeah, it's definitely strong, but it's not gonna work a lot of times. And Summertime Hysteria, you know, like I said, like they're gonna pick her if I don't. So that's something. And sometimes they pick 2-speed hero, and maybe they just end up outspeeding you, and your whole point is to outspeed them. Your whole team is a speed team, and maybe 2 or 3 of their other heroes are like really tanky, like Apocalypse Ravi, all over the place, man. Super tanky, really annoying with the revive, with the skill nullifier. I mean, they could go like Ruel, Apocalypse Ravi, or like 2 or 3 like really bulky bruisers. And it's going to be a rough time because maybe they might already mess up your whole team because they outsped you, right? And they're just breaking your whole team apart already. So it is rough. It is rough when you're trying to cleave, when you're trying to do single target burst. There's just so many ways they can mess you up. So it's more important than ever to just pick the right heroes, ban the right hero, pre-ban the right one. It's definitely more, the bar is much higher now. It's just not really working unless you have insane gear. But yeah, anyways, it's still fun, man. That's the thing. That's it for this one. Let us know what you guys think about all that in the comment section. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.